Hey, I'm David.
I'm Tina.
And on this episode, we are going to talk about the top 10 things that we've done as far as upgrades, and there's a couple bonus ones in there, so make sure you hang around for that. Okay, so we have a 2019 Grand Design 295 RL. We bought brand new back in the spring of 2019.
Yeah. April, Good Friday.
Yeah, it was Good Friday. That's right.
Yeah.
It was Good Friday. And since we bought that, we've made some upgrades. Some are major upgrades, and some are not. And these in no particular order. And I'm just going to go by my notes here. So I'd say probably the biggest upgrade that we've done is the Morryde Independent suspension. It was at least the most costly, but I think that it has been very well worth it. And some of the reasons we decided to go down that road, no pun intended, was we went to Colorado back in this June of 2020.
Yes.
And wow, those roads like to beat us to death, and we were losing parts. I mean, the facade of the things were literally falling off the walls. They just beat us to death. And we decided, well, I decided at that point I was going to do something. So that was in June, and I'd made an appointment with Morryde in, I think, October, November, December. And as soon as they could get me in was in January. So we just had that done in January of 2021.
But I think one of the other reasons you had it done is you were worried about the shackles.
Oh, yeah.
And the suspension not being strong enough to uphold during these travels.
So I don't know the exact numbers, but I'll just use this as an example. Let's just say the rig maximum capacity is 10,000 pounds, and then the suspension was rated for like 10,100. It's like there's not much room for error there. And so I wanted to I was going to do
springs.
Yeah, the leaf springs, the shackles. You know, I was reading all the forums, and you know, the internet can be your friend sometimes, but it could be, you know, your worst enemy, because you figure out all these things that are happening out there. And so you're right. I was looking for other options, and I looked at some of the Morryde, the CRE 3000, I think it was, and the 4000. And after watching a few videos, I decided to go ahead and just go ahead and bite the bullet and just do the independent suspension. Yeah. And so we chose the 7,000 pound suspension, which is more than enough for our rig. I think our rig's maximum capacity 11,500. So we have 14,000 pounds worth of capacity. Not that you could really go 14,000 pounds, but it's just that overhead, that over engineering, that gives me comfort knowing that, you know what, I know what's going on behind us as we're moving down the road. It's not going to exceed that rating. So you're right, absolutely. I even wrote that down. Also, it helps reduce a little bit of the chucking, but there's another story for that. The other thing, again, these are in no particular order. RVLock. The RVLock replacement for the entry door. I felt that was important to put on because, you know, you have to carry the keys with you, and you lock it up, and then if you don't have the key on you, got to go.
Just the convenience of the RVLocks.
It's convenient. You punch in your code, you're good to go. When you leave, you punch in your code. And I just learned one thing too from Jared, from what's his channel name? I'll add it in here in a second. If you press and hold the number 1 key, it'll turn off the beep. So you can turn the beeps off. That way people don't hear, oh, hey, those people are leaving. All right. Number 3, again, no particular order. The bathroom sink faucet.
The one that was on there was quite flimsy.
You know, the stock ones come out there, and you have like this much room between the faucet, the water coming out, and the edge. You can't even get your hands underneath there to get, you know, water to rinse your mouth or something.
Right.
So
just having an upgraded sink faucet.
Yeah, so I just went to Lowe's and found one that didn't have a little center plunger thing, and just bought it. And you know, it doesn't have water it's not a water saver.
No.
So I notice when I turn the water off, it's still like, oh, there goes a gallon. So,
yeah. We may be upgrading that again.
yeah, we may be changing that at some point, especially if we do a lot more boondocking.
Yeah.
Yeah. The next thing are the cargo door keys. So some RVs, I'm not sure if they're all this way, but many RVs will say, hey, key to like. Well, that's not a good thing, because now I know that Joe Bob down the road from me may have the same key, and he can get into my basement area. So I had replaced them with these cam locks. Again, I just got them from Amazon. I'll put all the stuff down below in the links below. But I put those in, and it makes it a little bit easier. Plus, I ordered 2 sets of 3, I think. So now we have these extra keys. We keep extra keys around. She has a set of keys, and then I keep them on the rig, set of keys in the truck, and then on my own personal key ring. So those have helped too, and they're nice, because I know that chances are there's nobody else has this key. The MaxxAir Fan cover. So I just put those on last year, and it's well worth the effort, especially if your roof or your vents have a quick connect. It took me longer to unbox them and to kind of figure out everything than it did to actually install them. So well worth the money. A little extra protection for your vent covers, and you can run with those things. Your vent covers open, allow airflow through as well. So we keep when we travel, our travel days, I open up the vent in the kitchen and the vent in the bathroom and allow airflow to come through to help keep the heat down in the rig. Okay, so next, the JT Strong Arms, and I'm kind of on the fence about this one. I bought them, and they do work, but there may be some better options out there now. But we'll
They've
get
done
back
well
on
so
that.
far.
Yeah, they've done well, and I'm not saying don't buy them. And obviously we've never been, we're not affiliated with anybody or anything.
Yeah, so
but they've been helpful, and it does help. But I think there may be some better ones out there. I'm looking into it.
Yeah.
This is kind of a big one. This was the MicroAir soft starts, and I put this on our 15K air conditioner only, because chances are for boondocking we're only going to be running off one anyway. Right. So I put it on the 15K air conditioning unit. It's pretty straightforward. It's a little unnerving to pull the cover off, and then oh yeah, you have to snip this wire and put this clamp on. But it was easy. Actually, the hardest part was where to put the device. They said just put it here in the diagram. They just like out in the open under the fan blade, under the fan shaft. But I wanted to stay out of the weather as much as possible, so I put it in where the caps are, the capacitors are, and it was a tight fit, but it did go in. Okay, the next one is going to be the Hitch Carrier. So we had a spare tire on the rear of the RV. I carried 2 spares. So the one that's underneath the rig that came with the RV, and then I bought an extra rim and tires, and we were carrying that. And I decided to go ahead and try a Hitch Carrier, and it's been good. We've used a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We carry wood on it, and we carry
extra chairs,
just stuff.
Cooler, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The intent was to use it for the generator, and we still may do that. Yeah. So put the generator in the back, maybe with some fuel cans. But as of right now, we haven't done that. I've just kept the generator in the back. Now I still carry 2 spares. So the one's still under the rig, and I put the other spare in the bed of the truck. Mm-hmm. It fits right in front, between the front bed and the hitch. Mm-hmm. And it fits in there perfect. So so that's freed up our hitch. All right, so
our hitch,
I'm sorry, our carrier.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right. Next add-on is the LevelMate Pro. So our rig is not auto leveling, and that's okay. I just one less thing to kind of
worry about.
Have to worry about. But I see them out there all the time now, and it's like, oh, wow, that's pretty nice. So
Yeah.
our next one may have that on there. Who knows? Although I have seen now that I think Lippert has an
add-on.
Well, yeah. So if anybody has added on a auto leveling system, let us know. Leave us a comment down below. Let us know that, and let us know how it worked out for you. But the LevelMate Pro is great because you can just hook up to your phone, and you simply turn it on, and it tells you to bring up the driver's side, bring down the driver's side, or whatever. And then when you unhitch, you can raise or lower the nose, and it works great. And number 10 is the Haloview backup camera and monitor. This becomes my rear view mirror when we're driving, because when you're driving with the fifth wheel, if you look at your rear view mirror, you're seeing the front cap. So I've got it angled, I've got the camera angled just enough to where I can see enough of the behind me, so if somebody's too close to me I can tell, but also it just clears the carrier. So I know that on the red lines, the red, yellow, and green lines on the display, excuse me, on the display, that it just clears the carrier. So, but that has been a great purchase. I mean, I use it all the time when we're driving, and of course when you're backing into a spot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you've always done great, but I've never had to worry about running into something because I knew exactly where the rig was heading. Even when we back into our storage facility, it's like, yeah, it's kind of, I still get out and check, but, you know, I know that, I'm clear, pretty much. Always get out and look, though. And, okay, so that was the 10 things. The bonus item is the generator. And because our rig doesn't really have a generator prep, it's not fitted for one, we can't even add one in, to the basement area. I went ahead and just got the Harbor Freight generator 3500 Predator. And other than just some physical damage that we got when we were going through Colorado again, it's been great. I mean, we've ran that thing to all weekend. Yeah. And my brother's at one time. Yeah. I mean, it ran for 24 hours a day for 4 days. Yeah. I mean,
we've been happy with it.
Yeah, it's been great. So, you got to keep up on the maintenance on that one. It's important to just change the oil and monitor it. But it's been great. No problems.
What about your tires?
So the tires, yep, okay. Super secret bonus. We replaced our tires. Let's see, we bought this in the spring of 2019, and in the late spring of 2019, we replaced the Westlakes with the Goodyear Endurance tires.
And so far, so good.
Yeah, haven't had any problems since.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood. I figured you'd be knocking on my head. But we found that, I'm sure you've read on the internet, on Facebook and all that, they're called China bombs. And I don't know that that's the cause of these, the Westlake brand, but I was just seeing way too many of these things on Facebook, people complaining about them. And at the time we were new RVers, and I was a little nervous on pretty much everything. Yes, Tina's getting a phone call.
Sorry about that.
So, and we were heading down to Tennessee.
Right.
We were not taking the RV. We were just going down with some friends for another trip. And I bet you, that was Memorial Day weekend. And I bet you we saw no less than a half a dozen RVs on the side of the road with blown out tires. And I told Tina, I'm like, when we get back, I'm scheduling a replacement with those tires. Right. And we've got about 10,000 miles on them so far. Yeah. So, all right. I did do a couple upgrades on the truck. Two of them were like necessities, and one of them was for fun. So the necessities were the phone mount. I struggled for several trips. I had the little clip-on phone mount that just kind of clipped onto your dashboard, and we hit bumps and stuff, and that thing was always sliding off or falling off, and I'm having Tina pick it up off the floor for me. And it was just like, so I got one from Pro Clip USA, and it's expensive. I think it was $80, but it's well worth it. So if it fits your truck, it had one that bolted right onto my dashboard, so that was easy. The other one was a Bluetooth ODBC 2 reader and an app called Torque. And that information from that combination of that reader and that Torque app, along with the information on my dashboard, I know about everything that's going on with my engine, the temperatures and everything about the engine. I know about. So yeah, so one of the other things I guess I kind of failed to mention is the tire pressure monitoring system.
The TST.
The TST tire pressure system. Yep. And even though I mentioned it before in one of our safety videos, it's an upgrade or an add-on that I think is well worth it for the RV. Maybe it wouldn't be for the truck, but for the RV. Although I could get them for the truck. Yeah. It would still read it all there. My Ram has the tire pressure system in it already, so right now I'll just go with that. The fun thing that I added, so she didn't know I bought it, but I bought it for myself as a birthday gift, was a set of train horns. And let me tell you, they are loud. They are really loud. And
give him lots of joy.
They do. You have to be careful though, because you don't want to scare somebody into an accident.
No.
But I blow them through tunnels and stuff like that.
Only when there's no cars in there.
Yeah.
No vehicles in there, yeah.
Or if I really need to, for safety reasons, I'll honk the horn. All right, I think that's it. So.
I think that's it.
Yeah. All right. So from the love seat of our 295 RL, we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks. Bye now.
Bye.